And now for a violent escort mission.
Nice. My favorite kind. I assume our escort has 1 HP as per usual.
Basically, yeah. This came out a couple of years before Resident Evil 4, so we can't get him to hide in a dumpster.
Not so sure about that. This came out in 2004, so... I think that was right around the time of Resident Evil 4.
Oh yeah, I always forget. It was like 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, I keep thinking, like, everything was a couple of years later than it was with the PS2 era. Resident Evil 4 was 5. Yeah.
Yep. It's all a blur.
Time is meaningless.
Yep.
If anything, if the last 2 years have taught us anything, it's that nothing matters.
Truly. Okay, he has more than 1 HP for a change.
Oh, now you can take a hit.
Not that I'm complaining, but... when he takes off the armor, he gets more HP. Yeah.
Good for him, at least.
Yeah. Wouldn't want to accidentally kill Octavianus.
Get over here. Just want to see what the underside of your scalp looks like.
So yeah, I believe this was released before RE4, but
yeah,
only a couple of months.
Well, during the PS2 era, it felt like Capcom was releasing like 2 games a month for like 4 or 5 years straight.
Oh yeah.
So it's entirely possible that it came out within like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, they were going to town these days.
Yep. But it was that really cool period where they would release the big tentpole games, and then they would release like 2 or 3 really weird games every quarter, just because they could.
Yep.
You get stuff like Under the Skin, which is a really weird game in which you were an alien trying to blend in with the populace, and you did that by mimicking passers-by. Everything was done in a really weird, cartoony style.
Not familiar with that one at all, but that sounds right up my alley.
It's a very... I'm not going to say it's a good game, but it's a very interesting one. The concept is, you know, like obviously these days you've got games like Among Us, and this is basically a single-player Among Us where you're the alien, but you're in an entire city. Or, well, you're in an entire PS2 era city. There's a stage in it set in Raccoon City, so you're hiding from the Nemesis, Jill, all the Resident Evil characters, zombies.
Finally got the break room key. Soon we'll get to take a break. Just a few more murders.
Nom 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 nom.
Should have saved that for the break room.
Wait, was it the key to get out of the break room?
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, or actually we went in a big circle all the way around this panopticon.
Yeah. You can only pick up the coins with Octavianus, so shame you can't really loot the place now.
Yep. Ah, well. We got most of them anyway.
Yeah. So you can use them to buy things for your apartment, and you really only need to buy a couple. And when I say buy things, if I remember, it is literally just like, you know, like paintings, urns, all that kind of stuff, just to make the place look pretty.
Yeah.
but you do get a couple of bonuses from some of them. I think there's one which starts you off. You always start off with a rope or an urn.
That sounds nice. Might have that.
So it's. I might be making that up, or it might just be that some stages start you off with that. So obviously, I haven't played this in well over like 15 years.
Yeah.
But I vaguely remember that being a thing.
If that is the case, it'll be a priority to buy that one.
Yep.
Keep forgetting that the map doesn't actually pause the game.
Yeah.
Once again, Dark Souls style.
Yeah. So weird.
This is definitely the Dark Souls of Dark Souls.
The Roman era of Dark Souls.
Yep.
Which technically would probably be God of War.
Yeah, I mean, that's Greek, but very, very similar eras. It's all Greek to me.
Yeah, I always get the two mixed up.
No reason not to. History does in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
South. What's in here? There's a bunch of green dots in here. Nothing of interest. I was wondering the first time we came through.
The crates.
Yeah, we could break the crate. Let's try it. Meat.
Hey.
First time we came through, we just ignored so much of this room, and I always wondered why, like, they even rendered this whole central area with the gallows, but, of course we'd come back later and kill everybody.
Yeah. Although, again, at that point, a lot of programmers were like, we've got more power to do everything we want, so let's just do it regardless of whether it makes sense.
True, yeah.
Like, the PS2 era was very self-indulgent, but not particularly in a bad way. It's just everyone flexing their muscles to be like, hey, look what we can do now.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how, like, over the top a lot of the design is in pretty much all PS2 era games.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the ones that had no budget, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them had something going for them in their own way as well.
That's true, yeah.
Like, no joke, I think literally half my PS2 collection is, like, games that no one has ever heard of. They got no attention and had a budget of, like, 300 yen.
Yeah, it's a ridiculously vast library on the PS2.
Yeah. Arguably one of the most diverse as well.
Yep. Headed all the way back to the start?
Yep. It's actually going to let us out this time. Yeah.
Yeah. The weird thing is we had a rope and a window, which was a shortcut to the start. But Agrippa decided we better kill everybody instead.
Okay, but too many people have seen our faces. And I know that this is, several thousand years before any kind of technology that could make our lives more difficult. Let's murder everyone.
Yeah. But up to that point, until that exact moment, no one had seen any of their faces because Octavianus had stealthed through the whole area.
Yeah, no one even knew they were there.
Yep. So if they just walked back out the window the way they came, they would have left as evidence a rope tied to a bedpost.
Yeah. But, oh no, Bulky McLarge has to get his murder boner stroking.
Surely does. Hold a full-on space mutiny through the whole place.
Agrippa.
That's the other way to get away with it. Kill all witnesses.
I am returning to the Foro Romano. I want to find the truth and prove your father's innocence.
But to do that, I have to speak to Ray Romano.
You caused such a ruckus at the Foro Romano. The security at the prison will surely become more strident, which will make a rescue almost impossible.
Damn it! What am I to do?
It's like he just barely stopped himself from punching her in the face. Cameraman.
Yeah.
Try to be a little classier.
Agrippa.
Yep. We went over it last time. Blondie's voice actor is Scott Menville, who you'll probably know from Teen Titans, played Robin. Teen Titans Go, where he played Robin, and Teen Titans Go to the Movies, where he played Robin.
Gladiatorial games.
Also, Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go, where he played Robin.
So he's really been typecast.
Large crowds.
Yeah.
Wait. Do you know
Also from games like Resonance of Fate, he tends to play... He has basically typecast as whiny little brats with high-pitched voices.
Calm down.
And he's not putting on a voice. That is exactly his natural speaking voice.
Agrippa,
Possibly a little lower pitched, but that's how he sounds in real life.
Obnoxious sidekicks. That is a very valuable voice to have, though, because, like, most people grow out of that.
Oh, yeah. He genuinely, his natural speaking voice sounds like he never went through puberty, but he's got a full goatee.
Listen to me.
Yeah, if you could pull that off, you have a career for the entire rest of your life.
Oh, you're set.
Yep.
It would
Retire
give me
on
the
that.
opportunity to see my father.
Exactly. There is a good chance that you will be able to rescue your father.
And if not, you can probably murder him in the Coliseum.
Would you take that risk?
No, Agrippa! You must not be seduced by such a perilous scheme! I promise to prove your father's innocence. You need not lower yourself to become a gladiator?
That is not all. General Decius, the man who killed your mother.
Yes?
Gaston.
What about him?
I hear that he is planned to participate in the final battle at the gladiatorial arena.
You're saying if we kill everyone, we can get to kill Glenn Danzig in the arena?
Octavianus! I shall be a gladiator.
Agrippa!
Go!
See, when Bruce Wayne says, "Yes, father, I shall become a bat," it sounds awesome.
I will not lose.
When he says that, it sounds
Must
kind of
go
lame.
and prove that my father is not Caesar's killer.
I think they might be doing these people a disservice by giving them the voices like growling bears.
I'm not going to say it's a little racially insensitive, but I can't discount it.
Yeah, it just might be. She doesn't have a health bar.
One interesting thing about any kind of combat in the game in which you're fighting with allies is that the allies are surprisingly competent. You'll often have to finish off the enemies, but they do a really good job at weakening them.
Thing. Keep not doing my ground impale. So now all I have is meat with which to fight.
So you can't beat with meat?
Unfortunately, no.
Forget if you block at the right moment when they swing, you can grab their weapon off them.
Yeah.
Not sure if it'll work on the big lad with the gigantic spiky mallet.
Okay, he doesn't have a mallet anymore. That problem is solved. I broke it with my face.
Well, it is chunky enough.
That guy. Okay, here we go. Give me one of your swords
Yoink.
at least. And it broke already.
You just can't get the weaponsmiths these days.
Yep. That's the thing, like, we're in Rome. One of the most warlike, decadent people in human history. And they can't build a sword to save their lives. The things break in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, but the quality of the metalsmithing is close to what you'd find in Japan at that era.
Yep. Just aluminum swords everywhere we go. Someone drop a weapon, for the love of God.
I think.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Hey to him.
Yes.
Luckily, we don't lose durability unless we actually land a hit.
Yeah, the blocking's always kind of iffy as to whether or not you'll... Because some weapons will get damaged, but others won't.
Yeah. Good thing she did all the work there, because we just couldn't defend ourselves.
Yeah. As I said, the AI's surprisingly competent for a game like this.
I started a suplex going there. I didn't know how to finish it off.
Have no choice.
I guess it's hammering the buttons.
Maybe. I was, like, tapping the button, and it didn't seem to have an animation the way it normally does when you're, like, strangling people.
Mother's death and rescue my
I
father.
must have been pressing the wrong one.
This is my only option.
Even in the cutscenes, the swords are all rusty and
Take me to
shitty.
see your brother.
Here we go. Holding an enemy from behind, repeatedly press X or square.
Huh.
So, I don't know if you were trying to hit full. It's only counting half.
Fight to the death.
Guess I wasn't tapping fast enough, because it felt like as soon as I pressed... I was tapping X, nothing seemed to be happening. And then as soon as I pressed square, I let him go.
Yeah. It might be whatever button you grab them with.
I think that is also either X or square.
Mhm.
Just depending on the location and the fact that they're dazed.
Yeah. So whichever one you grab them with, hit the other one.
Yep. Plenty of time to test that out.
Oh, yeah. The game is... It's not a massively long game, but it's a surprisingly long one for what the game is.
It has a very simple gameplay loop of kill everybody, sneak for a while, kill everybody, over and over.
Yeah.
Means we're about due for a sneak for a while. And you can see why they did that, because like the stealth segment took up 40 minutes of the stream, and the combat took up
Yeah.
7,
Yeah.
and that's including cutscenes. So
Yeah. Well, don't forget the combat sections do get ridiculously chaotic after a while.
Yeah.
Like some of the later, especially once we start getting to the multi-part challenges, where we need to go through like 3 or 4 segments in a row.
yeah, that's true. The Coliseum does end up being rather lengthy segments of combat.
I am Sextus. I run the show here.
Now, the game starts off and it's like 1 or 2 tiny fight scenes with lots of sneaking, but by the end it's the exact opposite.
Of the crowds. It is a thankless and pitiful job. Do you think you're ready for this?
I am not here to think. Let me
That
Well, it's
mouthful there.
certainly doing a perfect job of it.
Yep.
Very well then. Come with me.
Tell me, have you ever heard of the creed Blood for the Blood God? Because something tells me you would be great at it.
Also, so far, Agrippa is objectively a bad guy.
I want to see how
What we've seen him do so far is sell Germanic tribesmen into slavery, and then just like slaughter everybody he's coming to contact with.
Yes, slaughter, technically speaking, his own men.
Show me what
Yeah.
you can do.
Because he's a centurion, he's just mulched completely mulched his way through the rank and file.
Yeah. Considering what Roman centurions do, that's kind of a good thing, but inadvertently.
Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to enjoy doing it, is the thing.
Yeah. Vocational damage, you say?
Mm-hmm. Some of the enemy models do have armor on their arms and legs, but I was never sure if that actually was taken into account.
Yeah. Right now, our character clearly has one of his arms wrapped up and armored. Just now teaching us how to use charged attacks?
Give me that meat! Yeah, as a reminder, enemies can steal health pickups and will use them.
Yep, not surprised.
And will use them just to deny you them.
Okay, lift him up.
Up we get. There's the boy.
Trying to initiate another suplex, but... There we go. Get him up. Distracted. Started it. Distracted again. Amputation weapons, you say?
Yep, you gotta love how they actually classify them as amputation weapons.
Yep.
Not just edged or sharp. Just, yes, this will completely ruin your love life for the rest of their days. Which matter in about minutes at this point.
Which? Disarmed one guy. He's still coming after me.
And before anyone chat asks, yes, you can beat someone to death with their own limbs.
Got another arm off. Which means more meat. Hooray. It looks like I'm eating their arm, though.
Yeah. That's the thing with the models being so low poly.
Now they can't block properly, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Takes a lot less to stagger them once they're down a limb or two.
And they sort of lose that fighting spirit. Partially. Like, I'm surprised this guy's still coming after me. As aggressively as he is. They must be dead.
Good dodge, that man.
Yeah, I'm impressed. As the last thing you'll ever do. Good way to go out.
As a reminder to everyone, we've been through, what, 3-4 combat sections, and only just now, like, 3.5-4 hours in, they're giving us a tutorial.
Yeah.
This game is all kinds of weird.
Three methods of attack. Are you going to tell us what they are?
Stabby, smashy, spinny.
Okay. There's the Supra.
Yeah.
Want that big mace.
If I remember, you can use that. Yeah, you use that to launch enemies. Which, once the arenas start having traps, can be very funny. You can launch guys onto spikes and into fire, and it never stops being funny.
Like how polite this guy's being.
You say polite, I say scared.
There is that. I love games that actually have a mechanic whereby you terrify your enemies with your brutality.
Not enough of those.
Yeah. There's a big thing in Mark of Kree. Not very many other places.
You could do it in True Crime. No, not True Crime. Oh, I forgot there were dwarves in this as well.
Wonderful.
Yep. Oh, when you do the super attack, you can launch them.
Let's give it a shot.
What was that game that was like... Yep, see what I mean?
Yep.
Send them flying. But yeah, what was that game that started off as a true crime Streets of LA game that was set in China?
Sleeping Dogs?
Sleeping Dogs, yeah. There's an attack you can get in that where if you do a certain combo, then you can kick enemies, well, you can basically kick or punch enemies in the joints, dislocate their limbs, and everyone around you will be like, Jesus Christ! And then, like, back off in horror. So naturally, I did that, and solely that in several entire fight scenes.
Yep.
Because the camera snap zooms into the limb being broken or dislocated. With a crunching noise that's about 10 times louder than anything else in the soundtrack.
Why did they have the guys still, like, do the dust throwing move in this tutorial? There we go.
Yeah, of course, there was also the Batman Arkham trilogy, which was all about terrifying your enemies. But thought that was a bit too obvious.
Our first suplex.
Yep, again, something you can use to toss enemies into traps. Can't use it on the dwarves, unfortunately. And I don't think you can use it on the giants when they show up either.
Worth a shot, though.
No, it's always worth a try. I mean, if you can do it in God Hand. Yeah, here's when the actually get to put it all together and get context for what we were doing at the arena in the start.
Yeah, this is where we learned it.
Yeah. The little blue bar under the salvo meter, when that shows up as it's counting down, if you do any of your cheers while that's on screen, then you get more salvos and you get a chance of getting a new weapon. We have liftoff.
Supposedly. Not functionally. There's a kill. Oh, took my halberd. I'll take the meat. Some time too.
Salvos are neither experience or money. Technically, you could kind of see them as money, because the more you get, the better chance you have of getting a randomly thrown weapon. But they don't. All they really are is just a sign of how well you're doing in that particular fight. They do count towards the trophy that you're given at the end of each Coliseum challenge. And if you get enough bronze, silver, or golds when you complete the game, you can unlock things. But really, it's just for bragging.
Okay, that was a plan. Didn't go off exactly as I'd hoped, but... yeah, this halberd is dangerous in enemy hands.
Yep. Personally, the best weapons were always the scimitar or the two-handed weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Or the one-handed mace.
He had a broken arm that whole time, too.
Just had the other end of the halberd shaft under his armpit.
Choking on its own vomit.
That's the Roman way.
Truly. Couldn't even make it to the vomitorium.
So now you need to do it while actually going like, yay!
Roman Blitzkrieg, eh? I guess we have a number of salvos we need to get to.
Yep. Thankfully, the game refills your health if you fail that one.
Yeah. Friend's not trying to kill us. Tried to block with the meat.
If I can recall, you can, but you only absorb like one hit.
I truly thought of everything. Oh, nice.
Oh, okay, you can suplex him. Yes! I forget what this sword is called, but there is also a halberd equivalent of it, and they are the best weapons in the game.
This thing is like
Yeah,
ridiculously fast.
Yep. Meat Sculptor is if you cut off both their arms and their head at the same time. Or relatively quickly.
Surely that must have passed the test. There we go.
That is not bad.
And apparently halberds might be historically inaccurate
How you
for this
Yeah.
period of time.
this next one?
I mean, technically a halberd is just basically an axe with a really, really, really long shaft.
Yep.
So, possibly it is just like a gigantic axe and they just decided to call it a halberd for the ease of things.
Do not think I cannot fight.
I think a ridiculous, like, serrated flamberge that we were just wielding is probably also historically
Yeah.
inaccurate.
Yep.
He finally has a health bar.
Claudia will fuck you up because she is the fastest opponent for a good long while.
Yeah, and speed is hard to deal with because Agrippa is slow as a motherfucker.
Yep. You are basically a tank, but not in a good way.
Yep.
Easiest way to deal with her is just let her tire herself out with a combo and then run in and punch her in the face. Her combos do get longer as the fight goes on.
Eat meat aggressively at her. I couldn't interrupt the roll. If you're ever going to get involved in real combat, do not roll towards your opponent. That is not going to get you any sort of victory.
No, it's probably going to get you stabbed in the back of the neck.
Yep. We have like a dodge roll, but it's
Yeah.
useless.
I was going to say, it might work though, because it might have your opponent being like, what in the living fuck is this moron doing?
Yep. Yeah, like stage combat, they love spins and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Always, always, always a bad idea.
Yeah, you ever watch anything like MMA, and I wouldn't because it's boring. It's always get in close, pin the other guy down, and then just start mercilessly punching the back of his head.
Yep. There's an art to it, but you don't really see it if you're a layman.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a technician of that sort of thing, then yeah, great, but at the end of the day, you just wind up with two sweaty, muscular men punching each other in the face.
Yeah, like the version of
that, more power to you.
yeah, the version of MMA that is worth watching is called professional wrestling.
Yes, and it's fun.
Exactly. That is an art form that they have translated into things that are worth watching.
Yeah, like say what you will, but the showmanship is on point.
Yep. The best you got.
So, always fun when you cut off a taunting enemy by punching them.
Yep. There's almost no way to hit her without getting hit.
Yeah, this section I think is supposed to teach you how to dodge attacks, but the dodging is so imprecise.
Yeah, dodging doesn't work. I'm going to try blocking more frequently. Yeah, when you block, you get a riposte, basically. And there we go. Didn't want to kill her, so she gets to keep some of her health bar.
You get to walk away with your limbs, lady.
Yep. And then suddenly we become much, much, much more agile.
Yeah, all of a sudden we're fucking Neo from the Matrix.
Yep.
Where was this in the fight?
Yep.
You are a fine swordsman.
Like, if anything,
You are
she
hired.
was slower.
Tired her out, like you said.
She's like, I know this was the plan, but I'm still salty about it, damn it.
Yep. Now we show Mercy how chivalrous. We just sliced a person into pieces.
I know I've beaten you like a rented mule, but... buddies?
From today, this here is your home.
Have a villa.
If you have any questions, talk to Claudia.
It's a lot emptier than it was last week, but...
But remember, you are now a gladiator. Below the lowest slave. You will not leave the grounds as a free man again.
As far as I'm aware, gladiators just lived in essentially group lodgings. Some of the really, really popular ones lived in really, really, really fancy group lodgings. But unless they were able to buy their freedom, they were stuck with everybody else. But our man here was a Roman centurion, and they tended to live pretty plush.
Yep. You think for spectacle alone, the fact that he's the son of Caesar's assassin and a former centurion would make him one of the greatest heels the second he stepped into an arena.
Plus the fact that he is essentially a no one. Like,
And-
a big part of Agrippa's storyline is climbing his way up the ranks.
Yeah. I think would be unnecessary given the incredibly high profile of who he is.
But yeah. Yeah, we talked about this in the last episode. Gladiatorial combat, it was very bad form to kill your opponents.
Yeah.
Beat the shit out of them, yes. Occasionally maim them, mostly by accident, fine. Killing them it wasn't quite unforgivable, but it was the equivalent of giving your opponent brain damage in boxing. Yes, it's a possibility, but it's not looked upon too keenly.
Very, very bad form.
Yeah. When it came to stuff like festivals and all that, then all bets were off. Essentially, the Roman equivalent of WrestleMania. Then that was when people tended to go for death matches. But again, those were relatively rare. When you considered like food, lodging, training, all that sort of stuff from a very basic perspective, just having a gladiator was very profitable, but also very expensive.
Yep.
Really no different to owning a race car.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lower profile than Diarrhea Man.
Oh hey, it's Johnny from Metal Gear.
Yeah, I guess it is.
But yeah, typically it would be condemned criminals who would be sent in to kill each other for for that kind of thing. Your average rank and file gladiator, they weren't treated great, but they got, as far as they were concerned, they were like, well, I get fed and I'm not out on the streets, so I guess I'm doing okay.
Yep. Just gotta put on a show every so often.
Yep. I think Sextus is the guy who was judging our performance, wasn't he?
Is this guy?
It's a swarthy looking guy.
I thought it was this fella. A reaction from him. Let's head out here then. How far can we go? Okay. Training garden. I think would be promising. Instead, it's just pleasant and tranquil.
Yeah.
That's not what I came here for.
Maybe there's an office nearby or something.
Can't rule it out. There's a second door. Could lead somewhere.
There we go.
Yeah. Sextus's area.
That sounds rude.
It really does.
Let me take you to the Sextus area.
Oh, we broke into the kitchen. But
Yeah,
now,
gladiators were fed reasonably well, but definitely not to eat their fill.
you'd think you'd want them well fed, but then there's diarrhea man if you go too far.
Yeah. Well, the problem is you also don't want them trying to revolt.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I can't remember the exact details, but I remember a lot of their diet was very high in carbs, so they had lots of strength, but not much in the way of energy. Sort of the sort of thing that they serve in prisons.
True, yeah.
You know, keep everyone alive, keep them fed, but make sure that they don't have enough energy to actually get any ideas.
They are physically formidable by their very nature.
Like, at the end of the day, these are burly men trained to kill.
Yeah. Make them too strong, and they are your new overlords.
Yep.
Multiple different types of map screens, depending on which character we're playing as.
Yeah, I wonder what Octavianus's thing that he throws onto the table is. Like a cabbage or something? The most formidable weapon I can imagine, a feather.
That's hard mode. Play the whole game as Octavianus. Even the Coliseums.
Just hides in his armor like a turtle and wets himself.
Yep.
You don't have to defeat enemies, you just have to make them feel really, really bad for you.
Yep. Okay, I guess we're required to get at least 25k for our Oh, 15k is the bare minimum.
Yeah,
65k for gold.
all of the matches have a bare minimum requirement number of salvos to get.
Yep.
Which is just purely for progression. And it is very easy to fail with those. Like, if you're not doing any of the salvo attacks or, you know, again, cheering on the crowds, then the game just goes, nope.
Yeah. Like we saw in the tutorial.
Yep.
He made Sextus throw open his own mouth.
As we said, this is where the game gets good.
Now to see it all again.
Yep.
Died on what would have been the last hit. But now I understand the mechanics much better.
Yeah, that's it. The key is whenever you get any text on screen, hit the cheer. That way you get the really good weapons.
Yeah, definitely.
There are no character upgrades in the game. What you see is what you get.
Yeah,
You can unlock stuff for Octavianus, but they're purely cosmetic.
seems like better weapons will become more frequent as we go deeper, but I don't think we'll even get any different types of weapons.
Yeah, we've pretty much seen all the weapon types that are in the game. You will get better ones the more salvos you have. That's how you get like the really fancy serrated halberd and serrated broadsword. Yeah, basically, the salvos are to make sure. It's what the game is entirely based around as far as the combat goes. You pull off fancy attacks, you get rewarded for them, and then you get rewards through better weapons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you only got a couple attacks out of the arm, but it's worth it.
Oh, yeah. They're memorable attacks.
Yep. There is actually there's a couple of RPGs actually, based on gladiatorial combat. One called Gladius, which is a sort of almost fantasy version of ancient Rome, and another one called Gladiator, where you play a gladiator, you get to level them up, level up their skills with various equipable tablets. It's a really long game, and the difficulty curve to it is ridiculous, but it's also a lot of fun. Maybe something we should consider looking at as a couple of videos at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it is an RPG, and as such, it can go like 80 odd hours.
Yeah.
But you fight your way up the ranks, and you can stop at one point because you get offered like, okay, you're a really successful and famous gladiator. Do you want to just cash out now that you paid all your debts, or do you want to keep going for the gold? And if you quit out at that point, the game's like, cool, you beat the game, here's your ending.
Yep, you win. I think this guy's got 2 broken arms now.
Yeah. When they start staggering around with both their arms at their sides, then both of them are broken.
Yeah, definitely got a broken leg too.
Yeah.
Hole in one.
Yeah,
that's
if you
referring
do,
to.
that's if you finish them off with a pokey attack.
Ah. Trying to get a suplex, but he won't go down.
I think that only really works if you have knocked them down already.
Yeah. But you gotta hit him a bunch of times to knock them down. Kicked in the head while cheering.
Oh, that's a really good halberd just right beside you.
Looks like someone grabbed it. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, that one is like the best, one of the 2 best two-handed weapons in the game.
Didn't even notice that it was different until he pointed it out, but yeah, it clearly is gold.
Yep. So I forget what they're called. It's something like the Maximus weapons or something.
Barbarius, eh?
Yeah, not sure what that is.
Could mean anything.
It's funny if it was picking up two severed arms. Dual wielding, dual wielding.
Yeah. Okay, now I need something shiny. At all possible. This guy is making a mess of the competition. I should probably just let him, because he's too dangerous.
Yeah.
Guy just brought a halberd to spectate.
Just sitting here watching with the sword, you know.
Why wouldn't you? There we go. No, you don't.
Okay, now we're talking. It's also got a really nasty spike in the end of the shaft. So when you hit them with the other end, it almost feels like it makes more sense that they take damage.
Yeah. Oh, there goes all the halberds all at once. And they continue to hate suplexes. Straight up no weapons anywhere. Besides this one. Give me that. Go.
Yeah, it's the sword that I'm thinking of is the Magnus sword, which is the big serrated one.
Yeah.
And I'm probably thinking of the Apollo spear.
Definitely haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, because most of the halberd type weapons are linked together with spears, of which there's 4. Normal, Apollo, Gedo, or Zedo.
Ghetto spear.
Yeah, but there's 5 types of shield, which is surprising.
There are also, like, Germanic weapons that we're probably not going to see again.
Surprisingly, no. They do show up again.
Interesting.
The Germanic shield will pop up quite frequently. There's also spike shields that typically when you hit someone with a shield, it just knocks them back and stuns them a bit. Spike shields do a fair bit of damage.
Good. It's these fields we got so far pretty bad.
Yeah, you will get bigger shields, tower shields, and so forth.
There we go. Limped over the finish line.
Yeah, apparently there's over 150 different salvos in the game, so...
Wow.
Actually, no, tell I over 180.
Of course. Couldn't go for the full 200, apparently, but that's still very impressive for a PS2 game.
192. But the last 12 or so are only available during the chariot races.
Ah, of course.
So, essentially 180.
Yep. Great arrows.
Yep. Here's where we start seeing the first of the gimmick fights.
Yeah.
But the gimmick fights are actually still surprisingly good fun. Like, other games you hear, oh, it's a gimmick level. Like, great, this is going to be suffering.
If I were to lift him up... then I could do the suplex. Yes. Lethal.
Yep, Superman it's called. Yeah, I knew there was one for yeeting someone off a high place.
Go.
Now you got back down to earth.
Exactly. That's what I was going for. She was on her knees begging for mercy. All she got was
Like,
you.
I know they say that, you know, like it's a euphemism, like saying that someone got down on all fours and pissed themselves. Talking about, like, so scared of someone, but she actually did do that, and that was kind of...
It's the game we signed up for. It is not a classic game.
The fighting in this is frustrating, but not in a bad way. You're like, oh, every time you fail one of the stages, you're like, okay, I can do better. I know I can.
I don't think it's frustrating in the slightest. The only frustrating thing is that these shield guys are untouchable. But other than that, perfectly fair. Very satisfying.
I was always like, God damn it, okay, need to do this again. But as I said, never in a way of, oh great, well I've just completely wasted my time and now I hate this game.
Yep.
Okay, probably the most annoying part of it is that it's fair.
Done this before. Am I doing a kick? Good news is I can get the second archer uninterrupted. We're done for.
Well, the will be coming up behind you quite quickly.
Almost certainly. Actually managed to throw dust in my face.
Yeah.
From a stone platform.
Clearly you tracked it up there on your sandals.
Must have. What did he want me to use?
Maybe it landed on the ground?
Maybe. Bread. There we go.
There we go.
That was his plan all along. Better be dead. Okay, no, he was just having a seizure.
The seizure was just a prelude to him falling over.
Yep.
It was a seizure procedure.
Going for the bows, naturally. Show you how to use a halberd.
And also give you a short but intense playing with gravity.
There we go. Off they go. Everyone down. Everybody get down.
Enforce the boogieing from 9 p.m. onwards.
Yep.
And when we say enforced, we primarily mean force.
Literally everyone down on the ground floor now. Okay, getting specific weapons is proving to be a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah. I say if you're wanting to actually make things easier for you, blunt weapons and scimitars are your best one-handed ones because they can break limbs and sever them.
Scimitars always chop off a limb.
Yeah, or just two-handed weapons in general because you can hit like 5 enemies at once.
Oh yeah.
With a good charge.
Very nice. Finally went well.
Yep. The game is basically failing until you actually manage to have a breakthrough, essentially.
Yep. Yeah, I'm used to like twisted metals that are virtually impossible.
Yeah, it's very rare that you will get any of these your first time.
Yeah. Tigers!
Boy. Here we go.
Begins.
Yeah, tigers, as I recall, you can't sever any of their limbs. They are just basically a giant furry sack of hit points.
Yeah. We almost won the run where we chucked the guy off the platform with a suplex.
Yep.
Just got 10 salvos all at once.
Aerial cruelty to animals. That's right. When the first time you attack an or in fact, every time you attack a tiger or lions later on, you get a salvo called cruelty to animals.
Rightfully so. I am gonna need a weapon.
Yeah, all the animals in this are basically furry heat-seeking missiles. Because they will always go full pelt towards you. And the only way you can really attack them without taking damage is from the side.
My goal in life is to suplex a tiger.
In space!
It's eating my leg. That one's down. There we go. Anything good? Scimitars are good still. There we go. That one's either win immediately or die.
Basically. It's very easy with that one to get cornered, and they will just maul you to death.
Yeah, I actually got a trophy this time. Look at that.
Yeah, I think the gold was like 9,000.
Yep.
So doing a couple of cheers would have got you that.
Yeah.
But honestly, as I said, like the trophies are really just if you're planning on unlocking things for New Game Plus. The best thing that you unlock is you just get like a tournament mode that's constant fighting, which is, you know, what we're probably going to be showing off anyway.
Hell yeah.